Morning everyone. It seems an age since I've actually sat down and filmed a journal. That's partially because I haven't had any journals to film. Did mention it in one of the Facebook groups. Since before Christmas really, maybe a little earlier, I seem to have lost all my mojo in creating journals, and I think it stems down to I did a few commissions back to back. I think I did 3 like back to back, and if I'm being honest, I don't enjoy doing them. A couple of people asked me would I make a journal, and they give me what they wanted, but I don't feel as though I'm putting me into those journals, if that makes any sense. And I just found it very stressful, and it became not enjoyable, and I was stressing they weren't good enough. They weren't what the customer wanted. So I'm decided from now on I'm not doing any more orders. Any journal I have will just go straight into my Etsy shop, and I'm hoping to get my mojo back a little bit. Before I start, I have got a journal. I've got a few journals in my Etsy shop at the moment, but I think this one's the most relevant. It's a spring goddess one, and with it being spring, I'll just give you a quick look at it. With it being spring, I thought it was a perfect time of year. But firstly, before I go into these journals, because I've not filmed a journal that long, I can't work out all my camera settings and my tripod. So I've got a feeling a lot of this might be cut off. I don't know, for some reason I can't work it out what I used to do, but hopefully that'll come back to me as well. And also, I've got overhead lights on, and I've got a side lamp on because it's a really dark day, even though we're in the middle of April. It just looks like November. So the lighting's not very good at the moment. So for all them, I apologise in advance. But back to the journals. This is a Spring Goddess journal, and I have listed this before in my Etsy shop. And I took all my journals out when I wasn't feeling very journaling, if that's the word. But I put them all back in again. But this is a spring one. And like I said, it's quite relevant because it is spring, but I won't really go through it with you because I have got a previous video in, if you just scroll through my videos, if you want to have a look, you will find it. But that's basically, it's just basically a goddess with lots of spring colours. But I just thought, while we're in spring, I'll get that out of the way. But what I have been working on, probably since about October, November, I rewatched, I'm calling her Miss Haversham. I forget what it's called. My mind's gone really blank. Charles Dickens. And this journal has been inspired from, the idea and the concept behind it is, this journal has been dragged out of, as we all know the story, she sets a house on fire and it all gets burned down, but somebody rescued this journal from the flames, and luckily it wasn't touched, and I think this was because it was wrapped up in some linen, and the linen was very singed, but the journal surprisingly remained intact. But that's the basic concept of the story behind it. I think we all know the story of Miss Haversham, but I wanted to do a journal again on her, and I've done Miss Haversham before, and she's always a favourite of mine, and I thought, do something I love, which hopefully will get me back into this swing of things. So I think, well, first of all, I'll show you, I've done it in, sure that's in frame. I've made a little cover for the journal, because I didn't want it to just be, and I think it was the cover that saved it from getting burnt in the fire. But it's just a little fabric cover I've made using lots of appliques, laces, muslin. I have got a little stick pin here, and the back once again is covered with applique, bits of lace, doilies, and there's 2 pockets here at the front where Miss Haversham was planning for her wedding, which never took place, but she never forgot it. But as any young bride would be, they'd be collecting little bits of photographs of dresses and stuff, and have loads of notes to jot down, I would imagine. I've just done a little booklet here with a couple of tags in, bits of papers, just for obviously general things which a bride would be jotting down. There's a picture here of a bride and groom signing the registry book. Then but these are just little pockets, just for putting little, and I have got a picture here on it. These have been done in, printed onto fabric for these. Papers, let me think. There's some Ruby and Pearl XO. It's a mixture of all sorts of papers here, but probably too many to try and remember. But if anybody's interested in anything, just message me and I will hopefully be able to sort it out. But like I said, this is how the journal is, with just a little simple tie. Right, onto the journal now. So when writing, you can just put that to one side. I'm going to list this in my Etsy shop this afternoon if anybody is interested. It'll just be under the title of Miss Haversham's Wedding Journal. It's filled with lots of laces, doilies, scraps of fabric, but obviously brides are interested in all sorts of ideas and things. The cover, I've just done it in, I've used that paper you get with your stuff from Amazon. I've just crinkled it up, painted it, and then put a couple of coats of Mod Podge on it. And I think I have lined it with some wadding, so it's quite sturdy and it feels quite nice in the hand. The cover is just a picture of a beautiful bride, which obviously appealed to Miss Haversham for getting ideas. And I've just laid it up with some tulle, sort of lace, a bit of muslin underneath, and some rosette trim. I hope this journal's not too much out of frame. Front pocket of lace here with a bit of sari ribbon. Some paper just for jotting notes down. Some little bits of scrap paper. Miss Haversham really put all her ideas and her inspiration into this, of how she wanted her wedding to be and what she was planning, I suppose. The sad thing, obviously, she never got there, but that's the story. Here I've just got a little journaling card which I've laid up with some scrap papers and some lace. Left plenty of blank paper for writing because obviously a bride would have lots of notes to jot down. Not sure who these papers are. I will go and find it and I will put it in the notes below, because I always feel bad when I don't mention whose digitals I've used, because there's so many really good digitals out there. And here I've just got a little lace pocket, where's a little paper that says memories, little Edith Holden page, little pocket here where Miss Haversham kept some of her love letters in. It's just off a little old doily thing. More papers for writing, little lace tag. I found this book in a charity shop and it was all about weddings, but I've just kept this picture because I just thought it was really nice with obviously the father of the bride walking her down the aisle, and there's a celebration and blessing of a marriage behind. That's from the Book of Common Prayer. Just a pocket there, and this is from the same book, and it's got a bridal ballad on one side and a picture. I felt bad cutting the book up lately, but what else am I to do? I think these are Ruby and Pearl XO papers. A bit of French paper. Here I've just done a little side tuck with another journaling card. Another journaling card, once again laid up with appliques. Just little bits really that caught Miss Haversham's eye. She would put in here like little poems. This is from Alfred Lord Tennyson. It's called Marriage Morning. But Miss Haversham really loved that poem, so that went in. Basically anything that inspired her went into this. little book, and I'm just so glad it's been rescued from the fire so somebody else can get pleasure from it. I think these are Ruby and Pearl XO. Excuse me. Even though I have lost my mojo for journaling, I've been watching I got a lot of good advice really from people. I've been watching a lot of videos lately and I'm feeling quite inspired again. And I've got some ideas floating around in my head. But I haven't been idle. I have been doing lots of slow stitching, and I've got back into my knitting. And I've been doing like different crafts. I've been on a soap making course, which I've really enjoyed. I've done a willow sculpturing course, which I've really enjoyed. I made a hair last year, willow hair, and I've just signed up for another one for a stag's head, which I think I'm doing in May. So I have been keeping my hand in crafts a little bit, but for some reason I think I got burnt out with making journals and started to feel under pressure. So I've stepped away, and hopefully I will get back into it again, because I do enjoy making journals, and I still journal and I enjoy seeing everybody else's journals, but for me to go up and sit down in my room and pull something out, my mind would go blank. So it's basically time to chill out, I think, when you feel like that. And I know we all get it, and I'm just hoping mine returns. That was my worry. I don't mind getting a little block, but I was just worrying that it wouldn't return. Back to the journal, less of me rabbiting. Couple of journaling cards here, and I love this lady. She's holding a bridal bouquet. It's just some lace trim on it. And here is another, well, it's like, I won't take it off because I'm all fingers and thumbs. It's just a little bit of scraps I've used up and made some journaling cards from. A little paper envelope here. Paper clips. And just a thing for putting little notes in. It's just been laid up with a few trims. Like I said, there's plenty of lace trims in here, and it does hang over nicely. Another from this little bridal book I've got, this is Words of Wisdom. It's a grandmother telling her granddaughter about marriage. And there's another little poem on the back called To Sylvia, to Wed. But they're quite nice to read. I did enjoy reading the book, but I thought it seemed perfect to go into this book. And there's a recipe in this book which I thought was quite good. I don't know if some of it, well, we won't remember them, but there was a famous cook in the Victorian times, turn of the century, Mrs. Beeton, and there was a recipe here for Mrs. Beeton's wedding cake, which Miss Haversham in the day would really have wanted. So I put the recipe in it. Apparently it's sufficient for a £24 cake, which seems like a pretty heavy cake to me, but hey, I guess a wedding cake are meant to be heavy, but the recipe is in there. Here I've just got a few little bits of snippets of lace and that, which obviously Miss Haversham will have been collecting. I've just put them in with a little stick pin. Another journaling card, Edith Holden, some writing space, and I've put in plenty of journaling cards because I thought these would be ideal if somebody was using it as a wedding planner, just to put notes, guest lists, things to do list sort of thing. A little bit of lace, some more journaling space, another journaling card which I've just left open as a little booklet. Just some little spare jotty paper at the back, where you could keep lots of ideas and notes in. So that's basically Miss Haversham and what I've been up to. Thank you for sticking by me, and I did get some lovely messages off people recently saying, like, just step back when you don't feel like making journals. But I'm hoping now I'm up and running, I've got a few ideas of things I want to get out, and hopefully I shall be back making, but I have been enjoying seeing everyone else's work. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.